If you're between 48 and 59 years old, and you're trying to pay off your house, your car, your debt as fast as possible, then I need to tell you something directly. You may be making one of the biggest financial mistakes of your life. I know that sounds crazy. Being debt-free means freedom. That's what everyone says, but the data is exactly why I disagree. Peace of mind has a price, and most men in their 50s have no idea how much they're paying for that feeling. Today, I want to tell you the story of two men. David, 52 years old. He earns $3,200 a month. Senior engineer. 2 kids in college. He aggressively pays down debt and barely invests because he says, "I don't feel financially secure yet." He believes he's doing the responsible thing. Marcus, also 52. He earns only $2,200 a month. Middle manager. Still carries a mortgage, but every month he invests 22% of his income, consistently, relentlessly, regardless of pressure. 15 years later. Who lives better? The answer may force you to rethink every financial decision you make from this point forward. Ages 48 to 59, according to most economic studies, represent the peak earning years in a man's life. This is when you hold your highest position, your highest salary, your biggest bonuses. But here's the paradox. It's also the most financially pressured stage of your life. Look at what's sitting on the shoulders of men in their 50s. Children in college, tuition, rent, living expenses, adult children getting married, weddings, gifts, financial support. Aging homes needing repairs, leaking roofs, broken plumbing, outdated wiring. Elderly parents beginning to require medical care, your own health starting to decline, medications, treatments, checkups, consumer behavior. Research shows that men at this stage spend an average of 78-85% of their income on these obligations before they even think about their own future. 78 to 85%. What does that actually mean? It means that even at peak income, most men only have 15-22% left to build wealth for the remaining 30 years of their lives, and most of that remaining. Money gets quietly destroyed by forces nobody ever warned them about. Let's go back to David and Marcus. David earns $3,200 a month. He spends $800 on debt payments, $1,600 supporting his household, $408 helping his kids through college. That leaves him with $320 a month. He keeps it in a savings account because, in his words, "I don't know where it's safe to invest yet." What does David's emotional math tell him? I have no bad debt. I'm saving money. I'm taking care of my family. I'm doing the right thing. And emotionally, that feels true. But it's false security. Because real math says something completely different. If David saves $320 a month at 6% annual interest, after 15 years, he'll have around $92,000. Sounds decent? Wait, Marcus earns less and only $2,200 a month. But he invests 22% of his income, about $484 monthly, into index funds and real estate, averaging 10.5% annual returns. After 15 years, Marcus ends up with around $204,000, David, $92,000. Marcus, $204,000. A difference of $112,000. Created by the man earning less money. This isn't magic. This is compound interest, what Einstein allegedly called the eighth wonder of the world, a dollar invested. At age 52 still has 15 years to multiply nearly 2.8 times at 7% annual growth. A dollar sitting in a savings account slowly loses purchasing power to inflation. Peace of mind has a price, and for David, that price was $112,000. But why did David choose that path? Why do millions of intelligent men make emotional financial decisions instead of logical ones? Because the human brain is wired to avoid present pain, not maximize future outcomes. Paying off debt completely, immediate relief, brain says correct. Investing while still carrying debt, immediate anxiety, brain says danger. But mathematics does not care about your emotions. Mathematics follows interest rates. I want to talk about a principle that 90% of men in their 50s were never taught how to use correctly: the time value of money. And more importantly, the time value of your life. Saving money without understanding time value is one of the greatest wealth-destroying behaviors in existence. This isn't my opinion. Behavioral finance data points to this over and over again. Let's use a simple example. You spend 3 hours every week grocery shopping, cooking, then running back to the store because you forgot something. You think you're saving money. But if you earn $3,200 a month, your working time is worth roughly $20 an hour. 3 hours a week, per $60 of lost time value. Every month, breaker $240. Now imagine outsourcing those tasks or buying higher quality convenience services. If those extra hours allow you to, learn a valuable skill, expand your network, improve your productivity, or simply recover properly and think more clearly. Then you are not spending money. You're buying leverage. That's exactly why I choose to spend money on convenience. Because money is renewable. Time is not. At 50, you no longer have the same ability to work extra hours later like you did in your 30s. Every wasted hour becomes irreversible. And this brings us to one of the least discussed concepts in personal finance: opportunity cost. Every decision is not only about what you choose, it's also about what you give up. When David chose to keep his money in savings instead of investing, his opportunity cost after 15 years was $112,000, not because he was irresponsible, but because he failed to act. Inaction also has a price, and often, it's more expensive than making mistakes. Now I want to say something most financial videos never dare to say directly. The financial system, inflation and hidden fees are quietly draining your wealth, systematically, intentionally and without your permission. First, inflation, the hidden tax on non-investors. What does 6 to 8% inflation really mean? It means that if $100,000 simply sits in a savings account, after 10 years its purchasing power may only feel like $54,000 in today's dollars. You didn't lose money, but your money lost power. I call this the tax of inaction. Governments don't collect it. Markets do. Second, hidden advisor fees. Many men in their 50s are introduced to financial experts, insurance products, managed funds, investment plans. But almost nobody reads the fee structure carefully. A 1.52% management fee sounds small, but on a $100,000 portfolio over 20 years, that can quietly cost you $40,000 to $60,000, and those costs are rarely included in the projected returns they show you. For them, fees are profit. For you, fees are hidden opportunity costs. Third, lifestyle inflation, the invisible enemy. This is the most dangerous one. As income rises, spending usually rises faster. Bigger homes, newer cars, luxury vacations, expensive gifts for children, that's lifestyle inflation. And in your 50s, it becomes especially dangerous because it disguises itself as emotional justification. My children deserve the best schools. I worked hard my entire life. I deserve this vacation. I want my family to enjoy life while we still can. And honestly, nobody can judge those reasons. But mathematics doesn't care about reasons. Mathematics only cares about numbers, and the numbers will show up at age 65, when income stops and assets are forced to replace it. I want to speak directly to the man watching this right now between ages 48 and 59. Society tells you your 50s are the time to slow down, that you've earned the right to relax. That now is the time to enjoy life. I disagree, not because I want you to suffer, but because I want you to be truly free at 65, 70, and 80. And that freedom must be built now, during your remaining peak earning years. Your 50s are the final sprint before the finish line. That's not a metaphor, that's mathematics. If you're 52 and begin investing seriously today, you still have 15 years before retirement at 67. At 7% compound growth, every dollar you invest today can multiply roughly 2.76 times. But if you wait until 57, you only have 10 years. That same dollar grows only 1.97 times. The difference between acting at 52 versus 57 is not just 5 years. It's roughly 40% of your future wealth. And here's the most important thing I want you to remember from this video. The ultimate goal is not money. The goal is to buy back your time and your freedom of choice. The freedom to stop working when you want. The freedom to spend time with grandchildren, your spouse, yourself. The freedom to reject work that no longer deserves your time. That freedom is never handed to you. It must be purchased. And the currency used to buy it is the financial decisions you make in your 50s. All right, so what should you actually do? This is not emotional advice. This is a priority system based on financial logic for men between 48 and 59 during peak earning years. Priority number 1, create a non-negotiable investment percentage. Before paying anything else, automatically move 15 to 22% of your income into a separate investment account, not at the end of the month. The day you get paid. Why? Because money left in a spending account gets spent. Human brains are weak against liquidity. Automate discipline before emotion interferes. Priority number 2, separate good debt from bad debt. Mortgage at 8% interest? No need to aggressively pay it down if your investments can reasonably return 10 to 12%. The math is simple. You're earning the spread. Credit card debt at 25-35%? Destroy it immediately. No sustainable investment consistently beats those interest rates. Classify debt before deciding how to repay it. Priority 3, build a career transition fund. Many men in their 50s lose jobs unexpectedly. Restructuring, younger replacements, declining health. Research shows it takes an average of 8 to 14 months to find another job at this age. Minimum emergency reserve, 12 months of living expenses. This is not savings. This is income insurance. Priority number 4, invest in health like an asset. Medical data consistently shows chronic illness treatment in your 60s and 70s costs 8 to 12 times more than prevention in your 50s. Health screenings, exercise, nutrition, these are not expenses. They protect the most valuable asset you own, your earning ability and mental sharpness. Priority 5, eliminate hidden fees. Every 6 months, audit all recurring expenses. Insurance policies, management fees, subscriptions, memberships, many. Men in their 50s waste hundreds of dollars monthly on services that no longer create value simply because they forgot they existed. Redirect those savings directly into investments. Priority number 6, upgrade income leverage. At 50, you cannot infinitely work more hours, but you can increase the value of each hour. A course, certification, or new network that creates strategic leverage for your income may generate the highest ROI of any investment you make. You cannot negotiate with compound interest. You cannot argue with inflation. You cannot outsmart opportunity cost. Emotions can be comforted, reassured, distracted by pleasant stories. But mathematics cannot. Mathematics does not care how you feel. Mathematics only cares what you do. David or Marcus? The answer was never about income. It was about decisions. You are at peak earning power. You still have time, but not much. At 52, you still have 15 years to multiply wealth 2.76 times. At 57, only 10 years remain, and the multiplier drops to 1.97. At 62, it falls closer to 1.4. Every year you delay has a price. Not paid in cash, paid in future wealth. Act not because you are afraid, but because you understand. Because in the end, mathematics always wins.